Incoming transmission.
Welcome, everybody, to another transmission from the Outpost Nerd. I am your host, the Nerd of the Outpost. And today, we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people have had on their mind this past week. We're going to be talking about She-Hulk Episode 1. And man, was it... Well, what can I say? It was what a lot of people expected. It was a lot of changes that people pretty much, it was pretty much what people thought it was going to be. Hey, Miami Spice Divinity, Cool Frog, what's up, y'all? Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for joining me. You know, Marvel, getting to the topic, Marvel has really gone far away from the comic book origins of these characters. And with She-Hulk, there was no difference. You know, they did keep to the familial connection between Jennifer Walters and Bruce Banner. You know, Volt, you are completely right. They are trying way too hard. Yes, they are trying it too hard and sacrificing great writing, great stories for basically woke points. You know, I brought up the one thing I'm going to be doing is bringing up the Rotten Tomato scores. You know, and for She-Hulk, we have 85% for the reviews and 72% audience score. And for a Marvel show, that's not that high. That's pretty low for Marvel, for Disney Marvel. Usually we have close, almost sometimes between 95 and 100 for the reviewers, because, you know, they want to keep in Disney's good graces, so they get invited to all these interviews and events. So I don't listen. I put very little into reviews. I focus on the audience scores, and 72% is pretty low for an audience score of all things. But now getting to the story, we have Jennifer Walters, the aforementioned She-Hulk. And it starts, you know, with the car crash, like always. But the car crash isn't what was what originally happened. Okay. I want to know. I really want to know. What the hell is this? Okay, it's just some random spaceship. Okay, it runs them off the road. Okay. No, expert, stop it. Go to your own show. Stop it. Bad expert. No. But so in this car crash, here's where we start going off the rails, where we start seeing the changes from the original story. More than you, dude. More than you. A lot more than you. But we start getting the different story. They're in a wreck, and somehow she gets a little bit of blood, a drop of blood, of Bruce's blood, into an open wound on her arm, and instantly we get She-Hulk. In Divinity, you'd be wasting your money. But okay, for some reason, it seems like Marvel couldn't have a man saving a woman right now in this version. I don't know why, but in the original version, Jennifer is injured, so she needs a blood transfusion, a massive blood transfusion from Bruce, because they both share a rare blood type. So it should have taken more than one drop to change for such a drastic change. But I don't understand. I don't understand why they couldn't have it like that. They had it all set up. Just that one little circumstance. I just, did they not want to did they not want to? I just don't. I don't get that. I don't understand why they couldn't have her being saved by Bruce like the original story. Did they just want us? Did they not? Were they thinking, "Oh, we don't need no man" kind of idea? I don't know. It's so when we get from the crash, we end up at this island, and we learn it's where Bruce spent his time during the blip. Becoming Smart Hulk, as people call it. And he says that, oh, I didn't pick the name. And Jennifer's like, well, you don't discourage it. Well, that's big deal. He doesn't discourage it. I just, I don't understand. And then we get since Avengers Endgame, we see Hulk has always, ever since Hulk snapped back everyone that Thanos snapped away in the universe. Well, I could see where people would say that, it seemed like with Smart Hulk, he sacrificed a lot of his strength for the intelligence. Yeah, I see that. I personally like the smarter Hulk. I think it adds a lot to the story because there's a lot of versions too where the Hulk is still has his Bruce Banner genius. There's a version of the Hulk called the Maestro that in the future takes over the world, and it's the Hulk with the intelligence of Banner, but not the personality. And it, but I think from a story wise, with in game and stuff, they needed the Smart Hulk for what they did in the last Avengers movie. But then, okay, we've had Hulk spend 10 years studying all this, and then then She-Hulk thinks, oh, I don't need his help, and it's we get this horrible exchange. This is one of the worst exchanges.
Hear the waves breaking. Feel the breath, no judgment.
So when do you think I can leave?
Let's just focus on each day.
She is automatically thinking she's good enough to leave. She doesn't realize how much her life has changed, how much harder her life has gotten. It is the most ridiculous bit of writing I've ever heard. And it just gets worse. It literally just gets worse. Hold on, hold on a sec. Let me bring up the. I'm trying to find something. 1 second. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. I got it now.
Hear the waves breaking.
Okay, let's.
Feel the breath, no judgment.
Here we have
So when do you think I can leave?
Let's just focus on each day as they come, Jim.
This is the first time we're seeing more of a psychological side to being a Hulk. You're jumping ahead of me, Volt. You're jumping ahead of me. I like it, but you're jumping ahead of me. So we see. Let's continue this. It's just.
I mean, I legitimately do have a life to get back
I
to.
know I've been pushing you through a lot, but being a super.
And Bruce didn't have a life? Are you kidding me? Bruce was one of the top scientists in the world before he became the Hulk. with government contracts, a beautiful girlfriend with Betty Ross, and you're telling me, I have a life. I have a life. He had a life too, but circumstances changed that. I'm going to continue. And
Superhero is a trial by fire.
Bruce, I'm not going to be a superhero.
What else you gonna do is
I will say this. Yeah, expert. He was actually. I liked Edward Norton. Edward Norton in the role. I liked Edward Norton. I thought that was a good movie. That was actually the first Marvel Cinematic movie. It came out before Iron Man, but in the cinematic timeline, it was right after. But I do agree. He didn't need to just assume she was going to be a superhero. I do agree with her on that.
is a Hulk.
Return to my career that I have spent years building. Use my law degree that I am still paying off a fortune in student loans for.
It's not one or the other, Jen. I am trying to show you that we can live between what we want and what is. But we can't pretend like we are two of the few people on Earth that can actually protect her, which is why we have to make sure of your ability to tolerate the stress and regulate your emotions.
And here comes the wokeness, folks. Here it comes. Here comes the most insane bit of dialogue I've ever heard. It's the most. It's just what comes up is crazy.
Emotions, especially your anger.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or I might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. So
Are you kidding me? Holy crap. That was the worst bit of the equating being catcalled. Having people are always going, no matter how high you are up in a certain freaking job or area of expertise, as she calls it, you're going to have people explain stuff to you. Because that's what these people think women need to be like. Miami Spies. It's this idea that women have to be, in order to be confident, they have to be hateful and spiteful. They can't just be confident and sexy and strong. They have to be. This isn't about having strong women. This is having women be more powerful than men. And I won't catch hell for saying that, but I believe that's true.
of this just feels like projecting a lot of shit onto me.
See.
No, I'm doing this.
Okay, this is completely new territory.
You guys have outgrown your binder, cuz. Love you, Bruce, but I'm going home.
Thank you, Divinity. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. No, we're strong. We're both strong. We're both strong in different ways, and that's what people don't understand. And this is what the show is not going to show. We just had her equate being catcalled and to murder. She thinks that if she says something to a random guy who catcalls, he's going to turn around and stab her or something. Come on. And she's looking straight into the eyes of a man who was beaten as a child, had his mother murdered by his father right in front of him, was hunted for decades by the government who he used to work for, by his boyfriend's dad, General Ross. Secretary Ross we saw in Civil War and Avengers. Hey, Texas Jen, how's it going? Hi, Texas. Hi, Jen, how's it going? Wrong on so many levels. Wrong. So wrong, expert. Don't even try me on this. You saw they just, for some reason, Marvel has just erased Betty Ross from the MCU. We haven't seen her since Liz Taylor played her in the first in the Edward Norton Hulk, and I'd like to see what happened to her. It's been 10, 15 years. The only person they brought back from that movie was General Ross. But and then when he finally finds a woman, she was great in the role. Voltstorm, I thought she was really good. I thought that movie was great. They're bringing back Blonsky as well, the guy who played Blonsky in this series. Woof, Divinity, woof. Yes. But I mean, it took how long for them to get Natalie Portman back for Thor: Love and Thunder? It took, what, 10 years? Yes, the thing I've said about Marvel for a very long time, they don't cast actors to play these roles. They find people who are these characters. We had it with Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr. No one else could have played this role. Their lives paralleled so much. Chris Evans was the perfect Captain America. We all thought, I think a lot of people thought, with the announcement of the Avengers and then bringing back a Bruce Banner for the Avengers, a lot of people thought at the time Edward Norton was going to come back. I think Edward Norton thought he was going to come back. You and Expert are just trying to get my nerd rage going, aren't you? But I think, if I remember right, the casting change was a last-minute thing from the announcements. But it's just utterly ridiculous. And the sad thing is, Jennifer should know all these things about her cousin Bruce. They grew up together. The story is they grew up together. They were close. Bruce would, if I remember right, Bruce would run to Jennifer's house. No. They were about a month. Expert, shut up. Shut up, Expert. Well, Expert, you are from Tennessee, so you know all about kissing cousins, wouldn't you? But, it was just ridiculous. Yeah, same year, about a month apart. I remember the end credit scene of the Hulk was General Ross at a bar just getting drunk after his failure, and Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, that's both of them. Yeah, I'm saying you're right, expert. What more do you want? I remember the awesome in credit scene. I think with Iron Man coming in and Ross making fun of his nice suits. Man, it's this complete and utter character dishonesty that they have given She-Hulk. You know, it's utterly. It's completely, to me, utterly destroyed the character. I think it's in so another thing is we get this idea. Bruce puts out this idea that it's their genetic structure that allows them to create the Hulk, to Hulk out like they do. Okay, so does that mean we're not going to get any other Hulk in the entire series but these two? There are many different Hulks. There is Red Hulk, there's A-Bomb, there's Scar, there's at least... Hey, Sully, what's up? Come nerd out with me. You know, and I would love to see Red Hulk. You know, General Ross actually has actually I don't remember the circumstances. He becomes this red fiery Hulk. It's one of my favorite Hulks because it's basically the monster hunter. It's the idea. No, there is a Hulk named Scar who is it's kind of a greenish I think I can't describe him. How do I? He supposedly is a clone of Hulk from this other dimension. And kind of like, I would describe it as a barbarian Hulk. Yeah, this is Scar. This is like a barbarian kind of Hulk. But the way Bruce has put it, it's only because of their genetic structure in a way that allows them to process gamma radiation in order to Hulk out. So are we not going to get Scar, Red Hulk, or one of my personal favorites is A-Bomb, who is a Blue Hulk. And he's actually the reason we have Bruce Banner. Well, wasn't in Ragnarok, wasn't that supposed to be like World War Hulk, Hulk in space? This is the Rick Jones was actually the reason Bruce Banner was caught. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that was a letdown, in my opinion. Rick Jones was who later became A-Bomb. Well, originally Hulk, the Bruce Banner Hulk was gray because Stan Lee said that the printer they used back in the day had trouble printing green. So that's why Hulk was gray. But Rick Jones, who would later become a Hulk named A-Bomb, happened to be caught out on the practice range of the testing range of the gamma bomb that Bruce and Betty were working on, and Bruce ran out to Bruce ran out to save him, and that's when he got struck by all the gamma radiations and would later become the Hulk. But I take it we're not going to see these characters, you know. I would love to see live action versions of Red Hulk and A-Bomb and Scar and all them. It's just I don't understand why they couldn't keep to the story a little truer to the story than what we got, what we're getting, basically. They want to sacrifice these amazing stories just to I don't know what they want they're doing. Marvel is losing money. DC, all the big comic book companies, they're losing money. It is just, and we all know why, but they just don't want to see it. They would rather companies like these aren't interested in making money anymore. Should we model it after you or Expert, Wiltstorm? That's funny. It's more about I don't want to say I'm going to say it. It's more about indoctrination. It's more about woke points. It's more about feeling good about themselves than making money and pleasing the investors. This idea that you have to have a message in every single piece of superhero content. No, I just want to go back to the years of good guy beating up the bad guy, stopping the bank robber, the mugger. I want to go back to the heroic acts, not the woke acts. Get away from the woke acts, go back to heroic acts. This just, like I said, we've had, and I'll be accused, oh, you're just a man who doesn't like strong female characters. Give me a good, strong female character that's likable. You know, we had Princess Leia, we had Ripley, we had, at first, Black Widow. We had all these great, strong female characters. Hell, I don't think the Avengers would have lasted as long if it wasn't for Black Widow working with Captain America, like they did. They worked together. You know, it's this idea. No, stupid. I said you would. He have dad bods. Exactly. Princess Leia didn't go around. She went around leading, not telling people how to lead. it's just this ridiculous idea that women have to be strong by belittling everyone around it. I don't know. It's and we should it's this throughout the episode we see her almost outpacing Bruce for some strange reason in every aspect. You know. And my question that I want people to ponder, did they make She-Hulk a Mary Sue? Are they just wanting to? I miss the good, hey, Germs, what's up? I miss the, back in the old days when you had training montages, people failing. My favorite part of Star Wars was in Empire Strikes Back with Luke training. Or in A New Hope when he's training with the lightsaber and gets blasted by the sensor probe. You know, you see him failing, but then over time, you see him slowly start getting better. You slowly see him becoming the hero. You see him go on the hero's journey. And part of the hero's journey is failing. It's failing and then learning from those mistakes and getting better. Yeah, Volstrom, I'll do that in just a sec. That's a good idea. That's a very good question. Good thing. I like that. Thank you. But we're not getting those heroes' journeys anymore. We're getting characters that automatically start off strong. We don't see that transition from, like with Luke Farm Boy to Galactic Knight that we saw at the end of Mandalorian, who just cuts down all these all those droids that just are killing everyone. Okay, to what Volstorm said. Okay, in literacy, the concept of a Mary Sue is a female character who, out of the blue, has skills to do everything, who doesn't need to be taught, who just knows how to do everything in the blink of an eye. The latest example of that, which they kind of retconned a little bit in the final Star Wars sequel trilogy, was Rey. And I know I'm going to catch shit. Oh, you just hate Rey because she's strong. No, you had Rey who grew up on a desert planet alone, basically. Because automatically she's more powerful than a fully trained Force wielder in Kylo Ren. She's able to hold him off in a lightsaber battle when you have a trained soldier in Finn who, and rightly so, got his ass kicked. There should have been no way that Rey should have been able to grab that lightsaber away from Kylo Ren like she did. But I'm getting to another topic. With She-Hulk, for some reason, she could control. Unlike Bruce, she can control her with no training. We don't know why. Hopefully, they tell us more in the future. But we see her able to control her transformations. Why can't Bruce do that? That's what I want to know. After 10, 15 years of training, trying to figure this all out, why can't he do it? Is it because she had maybe it's because she had such a small concentration of gamma radiation from his blood? Maybe I don't know. But Mary Sue is a concept in literary circles where a female character needs no training and knows everything. And and there is actually a I've never heard this before. There is a example of this, of a male version of a Mary Sue. It's called a Gary stew. It's the same thing but applied to the male characters. It's this, but we had this strong female character that people have wanted to see for 15 years, ever since that first Hulk movie, probably even longer. I mean, there were cartoons in the 90s that had this, had She-Hulk in it. But then when they give us a live action version, we get a crappy CGI version of the character that it's just such a letdown. And well, Germs, it's not, I don't think it's about that. One, you have a lot of these writers on Marvel, a lot of these writers that they're coming in, they have no experience writing for TV shows. It's these fresh out of college kids and yes. Yeah, Marvel seems to have trouble writing for women. I really think they do. Expert, no, he's not always sucked. No, it's a really interesting character that delves into the psychology of how anger can manifest. It's just no, it's I completely, it's not, it hasn't always sucked. The Hulk is always, like I said, always dealt with how you manifest and have to deal with the repercussions of your anger. Because it's that idea of that little green monster that psychologists talk about, that talk like it's your little anger avatar, little green monster souped up and out of control, and how the Hulk will cause damage and Bruce Banner suffers for it. But they've completely just went off the rails with how I mean, I've heard both Boltstorm. Yes, and Germs, that's exactly, it's the beast within everyone. And how we deal with it, and how it causes us harm, and how we have to suffer from those repercussions when we lose control. But the character of She-Hulk, it just seems like they've done away with all that. Yes, Sully, it's a modern version of that, of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, it's a that. Yes, thank you. I was trying. I'm gonna give you applaud for Sully. Perfect example of that. But we're not seeing that. We don't see that with She-Hulk for some reason. I mean, okay, She-Hulk has. They've taken such a great character who She-Hulk was an Avenger. She took the Thing's place on the Fantastic Four, for crying out loud, for a while. She's one of the most popular, strongest characters, and they've turned her into this unlikable person. It's mind-boggling that Marvel would think this is a good idea. But I'm hoping. I'm just hoping things get better. You know, we need escapism. Why is escapism because of such a bad word? We all need. This version, yes. This version is stupid, but past versions have been great. We all need, but with the escapism, Marvel at one time was all about escapism. Comics, movies, they were a place where if you had a bad day, if you got in a fight with your boss that morning, you could go to the movies in the evening and you didn't have to think about the world outside. But now you go to the movie theaters, you turn on the TV, you turn on any movie, and you just get bombarded with the same rhetoric that you deal with during the day. I don't need to watch a Marvel or a DC show and be reminded of what's going on in DC or what's going on around the country. I want to know. I don't care if I don't care who a superhero votes for. I don't. I want to see them beat up the bad guy, to stop the giant monster, to stop the bank robbers, to destroy the invading aliens. I don't care about their political views. It's like with DC and Superboy. He's not Superman. I refuse to call him Superman. He will never be Kal-El of Krypton. Superboy picketing for global warming at a local college. What does that have to do with his story? Nothing. We need escapism. We need a time to turn off our brains and just enjoy entertainment. We're not allowed that anymore for some reason. Expert, I'm going to ask, do not spam, stop spamming, please. But I think people are so miserable nowadays because we're not allowed to just stop thinking about all this, about what the world, about the problems at the border, or the problems in DC, or the problems overseas. We need time to just stop. We need time to All right, have a good day, expert. Talk to you later, dude. We need time to. That's just basically it. We need time to turn off. We need time to relax. I don't want to turn on a football game and get preached at. I don't want. It's just. When did escapism become a bad word? When did it become a bad thing? I don't get it. I mean, it just comes down. Okay, they start the day without a coffee, huh? Yeah. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you decided to come to the Outpost and listen to my nerdy rants. But we all need some time. It just comes down to this, and I keep saying this. I will nail this hammer hammer this nail until the day I die. I will beat this drum. I will beat this dead horse. I will keep saying this. We need escapism. We need to go back to the times where it was just awesome superheroes flying around doing heroic deeds, not woke deeds. And that seems to be all that Hollywood and these companies want to give us. So that's my thought of She-Hulk, or as I call it, fem-hulk on easy mode. It's this thing that we're preached at, that you can't even be the person who saved the entire universe without getting yelled at by a woman. If it was not for Hulk, the Avengers would have lost. The universe would have been doomed if it was not for Hulk in Avengers Endgame. But he still this is what he gets for doing what he did. For how many years did he lose the ability of his arm? It took all this. It took She-Hulk being, quote unquote, her condition being, quote unquote, better than his. As she said, no, it's different. But in a better way. Come on. You should be thanking him. There should be statues of the Hulk in every major city. Yes, Captain America led the Avengers, but he couldn't have done it if Hulk wasn't there to snap his finger. No one else could have done it. None of them. And he lost his arm for it for how many years? 5-6 years now? It's been about 3 or 4 years since event Endgame. So he didn't have his arm for, and these movies go in chronological order, real time. I want a Hulk emoji. That'd be cool. Yeah, Germs, Nerdrotic, Anna, that Star Wars girl, Yellow Flash, Tug, all these guys. I've been told I'm Comicsgate because I want decent stories. I don't want this woke crap in my comics. But I guess that makes me Comicsgate, I guess. But I just don't understand why they have to inject every social issue into our stuff, into our entertainment. But they'll say, oh, well, X-Men was all about civil rights. Yes, but it was done in a way that it wasn't in your face. Professor X wasn't screeching at you for mutant rights. It's about equality. And if you realize in the X-Men, the ones who thought they were better than regular humans, the Brotherhood, and they were evil. The X-Men wanted equality, not superiority. The Brotherhood wanted superiority, not equality. So that idea of Marvel has always injected social issues into their comics, but not as a blatant, blunt instrument like it's being used now. It's Ezra Miller is insane. I'm gonna one day do a show on Ezra Miller, but I'm not gonna. Yes, Melissa, yes. I've heard, yeah, okay, yes. So I've heard different things. I've heard rumors that they might cut ties with him, but we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about that another time. Yes, I have an 8-year-old niece. She needs strong female role models. She-Hulk is not that role model. I honestly believe She-Hulk is not that role model. If I ever saw my niece talking to someone, man or a woman, the way She-Hulk talked to the Hulk, talked to Bruce, I'd snatch her up in a heartbeat. You know, has Hulk gotten the accolades that he deserved? No. This episode has proven that no, he's not getting the respect that he deserves for what he did in an Endgame. One, and you also got to realize when he snapped his fingers and lost the ability to use his arm, he fought the entire army, the entire Chitauri army, one-handed. And just the idea that he's being just so disrespected. But, that's my thought on episode 1 of She-Hulk. Given Marvel's track record, I don't see it getting any better. It was an absolute dumpster fire. And the idea that they threw out of equating what Bruce went through to what Jennifer goes through is just mind-numbingly dumb. Jennifer lost her aunt. Her father's sister was killed by her uncle. How could she not take that in consideration when looking Bruce in the eye? And the look of Bruce's face is just like, really, girl? Are we really going there? But then you have that, and I think if she didn't change like she did, he would have said something. But then that scientific little spark when he realized what was happening went off, and he went all absent-minded professor, I think. But it did. She-Hulk episode 1 was all about someone experiencing something and just because someone who's a man has experienced the same thing, she disregards his point of view. and someone who definitely has gone through a lot more. Yeah, Sully, that's part of the problem with a lot of these guys who just go with it, who don't disagree, who are in it. Mark Ruffalo is pretty much in that Hollywood propaganda group train of thought. He's very he's very pro global warming and all that. Instead of being 5'3", I go to like 5'6". Is that cool, Frog? Outpost Hulk, yes. My glasses get thicker. I have a button-up shirt with a bow tie and a pocket protector. That's great, guys. I love that. My closing thoughts are, to sum it up, we had what could potentially been a strong female character who didn't beat you over the head with her views, who little girls could have really looked up to. And once again, Marvel screwed the pooch. They took 40 years of character progression, story arcs, and just threw it out the window. And it's a shame. We could have had a great, strong role model for little girls. But no, we're not. She has to preach. She has to be woke. I mean, during her opening monologue, if you look on her shelf, she has an Ruth Bader Ginsburg doll. She has all this, and she's discussing with one of her colleagues a case that she's going to, and disregards just because he's a man. He even says, "Are you just going to listen to your paralegal because she's a woman?" She says, "Yes." And it's ridiculous. Hopefully we'll see a confident She-Hulk, maybe not. There's a difference between being confident and slutty, and I hope we don't see that. I think that would be another too far. No, Volstorm. No, Jennifer. She-Hulk's a lawyer, but she does have a paralegal who works with her. Because as She-Hulk, she serves the superhero community in two ways: as She-Hulk and as a lawyer. But kind of like Daredevil, but instead of being secret about it like Daredevil, She-Hulk is very open about who she is. Oh yeah, that I thought I made that clear. If I didn't, my bad. Yeah, she has, but she in the opening scene of She-Hulk, she's talking to a lawyer partner who's a guy, and her paralegal's there, who's her friend. And I'm saying, he was talking to her about a case they were going on, and her paralegal disagreed with the male lawyer, and she went with what the paralegal was saying instead, and disregarded what the lawyer was said because he was a man. That is the Melissa, that is the big question. That is the $1 million question right there. If you're making these points and your coffee hasn't kicked yet, how are you gonna? I would love to see you jacked up on coffee because you're making great points that I love. I love the points you're making on here. But so, we've seen this character that has just gone woke. At least I don't lost in the chat, and you're never in the chat to begin with, expert. It's what I'm hoping. Maybe this is the optimist in me. Maybe we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing how she interacts with characters that are already established, like Wong, Emil Blonsky, the Abomination, who rumors are she's going to be his defending lawyer, which I'm interested in seeing how his case will go. Daredevil's supposed to make an appearance. I've seen stills of a Daredevil suit, and this is supposedly it's more based off the original suit, which was red and had yellow in it, which one thing I've loved about the Netflix shows, they really kept to the original look of the characters, because we saw in the full crimson outfit of Daredevil, which is just when he came out when he got his uniform and went from the ninja in the bandana to full armored Daredevil. I loved it. Well, we're going to be seeing a lot of characters that have already been established through the Netflix series, or they're slowly going to be trickling into the Disney Plus series. But I'm going to hate to see what they do to the Punisher. Instead of shooting them, is he going to tickle them? Like, oh my God, I'm going to punch you by tickling you, slap and tickle. Oh God, I did that on stream. Holy crap. But no, or they maybe even do away with Punisher. I wouldn't be surprised if they did away with Punisher. If they did like with other characters like Betty Ross, they kind of put him on the back burner and just kind of ignored him. But yeah, well, I realized that as I said it. But I'm hoping for the best with these shows and expecting the worst. But, it's Disney, so 9 times out of 10, you get the worst. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the show so far. I will be I'll be watching it as it comes out and kind of sharing my thoughts on it. But, people, find something to nerd out about. Find something to be passionate about. Being a nerd is not anymore the Revenge of the Nerd type smart guy with the pocket protectors and glasses. It's about passion, nerding out. It's about just finding something you love. So do me a favor, find something you love and nerd out about it. Find something you can start and go on stream, and next thing you know, it's an hour and 15 minutes later. So that's all I got to say. Find something to nerd out about. And listen out for the next transmission from the Outpost nerd. You guys are great. Even the expert. All of you guys. I'm out of here. Catch you later.
I'm gone.